Hey everyone, this is that guy in Hutch, Jason Probst, and you're listening to That Podcast in Hutch. But today I'm not in Hutch, I'm in Yoder, Kansas. I drove a little ways up the road, and it's not far, it only takes about 10 minutes to get here, to sit down and visit with Linda Utze and Jody Ratzliff at the Yoder Thrift Shop. And it's down on the south end of Main Street, right across from the hardware store. And Yoder's not that big of a town, so if you're worried about not finding it, just be willing to drive around for a few minutes, and I'm sure that you're going to find it sooner or later. But I think we'll have an interesting conversation about this. Is a pretty unique store. I walked around it a little bit before we sat down to record, and I think, and I'll have some pictures that'll go with the podcast, and you'll see that it's a unique little store here. So thank you both for sitting down and visiting with me today.
Yes, absolutely.
Our pleasure.
Well, tell me a little bit about when did you all start this store?
There had been a thrift store in this building prior to this, and they were going to leave this. And there were several businesses and people in town that just thought the thrift store was too much of an important part of the town. We wanted a place where people felt welcome and where they had a place where they could, it would be like a community gathering place. Mm-hmm. It's a place where they could bring the things that they no longer used and that other people could use. And most of all, we just wanted to feel like we wanted it to be a warm and welcoming environment. So and it just felt like this was something we really needed. Talked to some business people here in town and just kind of visited about it. Can we do this? Can we get it done? And so that's what we did. It really is a community-owned store. We rent the building, and we have a board of directors, but there's no ownership other than just the community.
Okay.
So it's, and we started out, and I remember sitting down and saying, if we can give away $10,000 a year, it'll be worth our time and energy to do it. Because there's charities that could be used, and the community will still be blessed by having a place to bring things, having a place to shop for nice things without having to pay much for it. And wow, we've just been blown out of the water. We're just so excited.
And it's interesting, you were talking about wanting to be a welcoming place, and we're recording at a table, a dinner table, with coffee cups and a coffee machine and a refrigerator with water and games and everything else available here. Yeah. Now, so talk a little bit. Do I understand right? It's a community-owned thrift store? Is that right? Is it owned by the Yoder community?
Yes. Right.
Okay.
Right. So it doesn't really have an owner. No. It has a board of directors. Yeah. And then we hire 2 part-time managers. Okay. Yeah. And everybody else is volunteer. So we have lots of volunteers. Uh-huh. And so, yeah.
But the board works for the community and tries to listen to the community and the community's needs. Right. And we try to fill those.
Can you expand on that a little bit? I mean, you've told me a couple of stories beforehand, but what sort of things or what sort of needs do you look for that you want to try to help out with here?
Unusual, just we all have tragedies in our lives. When a tragedy touches someone that's really close to that community, we really want to be able to step in and be part of that. I mean, we want to support in any way we can. So we, when there was the fire, the big cottonwood fire that went through, there was someone in the community that was involved in that. So part of our money went there. There was a little girl that had an accident with a fire and got burned, and so we helped the family with gas money. Another family's going through an illness within their family, and there again we're helping with gas money with one of their children.
To help them make it to doctor's appointments and things.
Because it's going to be a long-term doctor's appointment thing. Yeah. Other than that, we find local charities and charities that are really important to the community. There's a group called Hands of Christ that we, our motto, by the way, is serving Christ and community. And so that is our mission statement. And so we have Hands of Christ, which is an organization that helps people in the area. If they need a ride somewhere, if they need something done with their house, a roof fixed, a porch fixed, whatever. Hands of Christ will buy the materials, and then people volunteer to actually build whatever needs to be built or fix whatever needs to be fixed. We also support Youth Thrive, which is an organization that helps 18-year-olds as they come out of foster care. helps them, coach them as we would coach our own children that were 18. They learn how to budget. They learn how to interview for a job, how to dress for a job, how to save, how to do just the things we would coach our children in doing. And then they try to match them up with a family, so they have some place to go on Thanksgiving. And
some support, right?
Absolutely.
Like that.
And they have a family that's kind of around them. And so, we're really excited about those things. We also support an organization called, or we help support an organization called Share Haiti. One of the churches here in the area is very involved in that, and so we help that too.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, I think it's probably important that we talk about kind of your business model, such as it is.
Okay.
Because you were telling me that earlier. It's a thrift store, so everything you get is donated. And you said you get a lot of stuff. The things that you put here are high quality. You go through them. I went back and saw your donation room, saw how you do that. But you make sure that everything's really high quality. But you have this process, and then you indicated you pay your expenses, and then everything above and beyond your expenses goes out to the charities you support or to the individual families that you support, right?
That's
Absolutely.
correct. That's correct.
And can you talk a little bit about how that decision was made, just recognizing that it wasn't a money-making venture. It's community owned, but it seems like you were able to create something that served multiple purposes, having a gathering place in the community, something that creates some activity in the community, but also then serve the community by moving money in and back out into the community. Is that kind of the vision that everyone had?
That was the vision from the very beginning.
Yes.
We never intended this to be a profitable for anyone.
Yeah.
No.
It was always intended to be here. Guess what? We can have this cool place where people can bring things they no longer use. Other people can come and find things that they need. And at the same time, we can bless other people. How much better could it get?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way we looked at it from the beginning.
It's a fraction. We're selling a fraction of retail. So especially with the way the economy is now, people are struggling, in post-pandemic America. And, this just, it helps everybody.
Yeah.
If you don't have to pay retail and yet you can find some really nice stuff. It's a blessing.
Yeah, especially like kid stuff. It's not going to have stains all over it or anything like that, right? It's good clothing. Your kids can put the stains on them.
Yes.
Exactly. And our kids' clothes are as a general rule, they're 50 cents.
Yeah.
50 cents for just
for a shirt, pair of pants, whatever. Sometimes the dresses might be, if it's a really nice dress, it might be as high as $2.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So, and then then we have sales on. We still have sales. We still have a couple of days a week. Wednesdays and Saturdays, our clothes are usually 50%.
Okay.
So 50% off. So that means that now my shorts and my shirt are a quarter a piece.
Yeah, instead of 50 cents.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
That's
And then the charities that you chose, I'd like to ask about how you made the decision to choose some of those charities that I know that the Youth Thrive is really interesting to me, because we talked a little bit before about kids coming out of foster care and how little resources they have, and how sometimes ill-equipped those children are, especially if they've been bounced around a lot.
Right.
Absolutely.
And then they come out and they're expected to just hurry up an adult and understand how to manage life when they haven't really maybe had the opportunities that a lot of us had with parents that taught us how to budget and manage money and make better decisions about things. So kind of what was the motivator behind that?
Often these kids come out and they are 18. They don't have a place to live, and they don't even have a driver's license because they haven't had that coaching through high school to get that driver's license and whatever else they need. We had heard this the gal that does this, the head of this for Reno County, the Reno County head of this, talk about this at one point in time. And it was, at the time, the store was already running, our shop was already running. And so I had her just come to the board meeting and say, just come and tell us about what you do and why you do it. And she was just immediately, that group was just immediately put in because we saw the need. Sometimes I think we leave such protected lives that we don't even understand what, that kind of difficulties. And so we just wanted to be a help in that place.
Yeah.
And it's felt really good to be able to help them out.
I can only imagine. And it seems like through this you have an opportunity too to talk to people about this and help educate, create some education around this too, because I do think a lot of people who don't have direct contact with the foster care system don't often know how challenging it is for kids that are emerging from that.
Right. Well, and a lot of these kids have, coming out of the foster care system, they have help going to college, through the government, but they don't know how to fill out the paperwork.
Yeah.
They have no idea how to go about taking advantage of some of these programs that might be available to them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Even parents, even kids who have parents, and have had them in their lives for a long time, if their parents don't have experience with filling out college applications and student loan applications and Pell Grant applications or scholarship forms or any of that, that's a challenge for parents normally. So certainly for kids coming out without that sort of guidance, they might have things available to them, but not have the means to access them.
Right.
Or even know how to get, don't even know how to get from here to there, or if they're even available. Sometimes they're not even aware of the help that's out there for them. So we're really excited about that program.
And then the other part of that, where you kind of partner them up with a family to make sure they have a place to spend holidays, how did that,
that is just part of the Youth
it's
Thrive
just
program.
part of the Youth Thrive program?
Yeah, that's part of the Youth Thrive program, is that they try to partner them with I think they call it I don't know, with a family.
Yeah.
So they have and it's, sometimes the foster child that's emerged doesn't want a whole lot of interaction. They may not want to spend every weekend here, but they still know that this family cares about them, and they still have a place to go for Easter, and they have a place to go for Thanksgiving. And one man was telling about the foster he was sponsoring, that he got a call at 12:30 at night, and I was out here and my car broke down. He said, if you're 18 and you don't have a family, who do you call?
Yeah.
Who do you call if I don't have this person?
Yeah.
If I don't know who to call, then what do you do?
Yeah.
And it just kind of hit home, is that if they don't have a network of people that they can support and help. Yeah.
I think that's so important to remember too, because I think often we project onto people our idea of how you manage life, right? Well, I have any number of us. We have any number of people we could call, right?
Right.
If we end up in a pinch, I can call family, I can call friends, I can call work associates. There are people who don't have that readily available to them.
That's true.
And that makes life a lot more complicated. So having something that's built in that says at least there's this one person I can call in a situation that I don't understand how to navigate would be so critical.
Well, and I think they set up this program also with the families, that there are guidelines that you know what you're coming into if you're going to be a support family. They ask you to spend at least XYZ time with this child.
Yeah.
And so you say you go into it knowing that you will at least be spending a certain period of time with this child, and then anything above and beyond that is just fabulous. I mean, that's just blessings there.
And I think up until this year, maybe it was 2021, up until 2021, the Youth Thrive of Reno County was supported through a Youth Thrive group that was in Kansas City.
Okay.
But that was cut off at the beginning of 2021.
Okay.
So it was a great time for us to step in
and kind of help it out.
Absolutely, absolutely, and try to be part of that support. So but the Youth Thrive of Reno County is totally self-supporting.
Okay.
So
that's
they gather their own support. Yeah.
So in that, you're here in Yoder, and everything that happens in the store here happens in Yoder, but the help is extending beyond the community of Yoder into the broader county.
All of
right?
Reno County.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the other program that we talked about a little bit was the Hands of Christ, and is that a Yoder specific program?
No.
That goes out to the county as well,
It's
right?
all of Reno County.
Okay, and talk a little bit about how that was. I guess the conversation around that and the recognition of a need for something like that. I know I see it in Hutch a lot, that there are people that they've either their health has started to decline and they can't do a lot of the work themselves, or they don't have the resources to contract it out.
Right.
So,
Right.
but they still need a safe place to live.
Right. Right. Well, and a lot of us, I think, as we get more mobile, we're a mobile society in the last couple of generations. So I used to have an elderly friend. I went to visit her one day, and she's like, "Would you change the light on my front porch?" It's like, "Well, of course I will." But that's if they don't have family close or friends close, there's somebody they can ask for just small things like that. And so this is kind of what that walks into. And it was one of the organizations from the very first day, that we knew we wanted to support.
Yeah.
One of the board members actually does work with them and does some of the help, because most of the labor is all volunteer.
Yeah.
The materials are purchased, but the labor is volunteer, and he does some of that. And so that just made it easy to make that one of them that we're looking at as far as where to go.
Yeah, and that's and that's really a great thing too, when you have the money for the materials and people volunteer and give their skill and their
Absolutely.
talent to something.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, and then they have more of a passion for it also, so it's easy for them to share their passion with us and get us excited
That's true.
about getting behind it.
That's right.
I think,
Yeah.
it's
And is that so? How does that work? Is it does somebody contact you and say, "Hey, we need help with we have a specific project," or is it just money that you give to the program monthly or?
At the board meeting once a month, we look at last month's sales, and we pay all the bills and make sure the bills are paid, and said, "This is what we can distribute this month," and so.
And you just give it.
We just
give
write
it
the
out.
checks.
Yeah.
We just write
we
the
write
checks.
checks and
There it goes, and it's gone.
That must feel pretty incredible to be able to sit down every month and you're doing this work, and it's kind of a labor of love, and it's a very it's kind of a very Christ-centered approach to things. But to be able to sit down every month and say, we get to do this thing that we love, we get to have this cute store, we get to take things from people that they're not going to use. So it just seems that you're recycling, you're repurposing, you're doing all these things. Talk about that a little bit. It must feel incredible to do something that's good on so many levels.
I can't tell you how blessed I feel
it is,
to be able to participate in that.
Yeah.
Just to be a part of it is so much fun. And the people that volunteer here, our managers and everything, it's a fun place to come into. So coming in to volunteer is fun.
Yeah.
We have a
great time.
Lot of fun here. We do have a lot of fun, but it just feels so. It just feels so remarkably. I feel so remarkably blessed to be able to be a part of it, because it's just like you said. We got a place where we can recycle things, we can offer things to people at decent prices, we can help people out in that way, and then we get to give money away to great organizations.
It's been really fun because we have been so blessed lately that it seems like every month that we get together and we will compare it with that same month the year before, where all of our numbers are up.
Yeah,
You know,
it is.
our
Almost
sales
every
are
month.
way up usually. So that's been so much fun.
It has
Just
been
knowing
fun.
that then we can do even more.
Yeah.
So
It has been. It's been a lot of fun, and over $84,000 as of the middle of August.
Yeah.
that you've given away to these
Since
organizations.
November 14th of 2020. So you're in 9-10 months, something like that. So
And for a little perspective on that, how what's the population of Yoder?
like 72.
Yeah.
It's a pretty small town.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of
Little.
people. Yeah, you get a lot of people, and you mentioned this earlier, both for donations and shoppers. You get people from all over, and this wouldn't be possible if people from outside the area didn't come in and if they didn't know about you, and if they didn't try to support you either through donations or through coming here and shopping.
Shopping, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's really nice.
Well, let's go through a little bit about the store.
Okay.
We walked through earlier, and you have rooms for different things. We have like a clothing room and then a children's room. And is there an area of, and there's like a housewares, some the home decor area sort of thing up there. is there an area that you really like working in, or when you look at it, you pause a little more, or is there something on the shelves that every time you see it, you're like, oh, that is so nice?
Probably in the home decor area and
Yeah.
in the kitchen area. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm always amazed at the things that come in. Those are probably the two things that just
Yes.
amaze me when they come in, and it's fun. It's just a lot of fun.
It is.
The store itself is pretty unique. These buildings have been here for a really, really long
Yeah.
time.
For a minute,
And
yeah.
actually, where we're sitting right now used to be an alley between this building and that building.
Oh, really?
And
Yeah.
so this was an alley. And so, it's just, these buildings have been here.
Have a lot of
for-
history.
They have a lot of history, yeah.
Well, and I know, when you come down the street here, I noticed there's mostly parking on one side of the street, and then there
Yes.
was a tractor on the other side of the
Sure.
street.
That's
And
right.
The sort of thing that you see, in a
In
community
Yoder.
this size,
That's
right?
right, yeah. Yeah, it makes it a lot of fun.
Oh, it
Makes a lot of
does.
fun.
Yeah.
We had talked a little bit earlier too about the recycling part of this, and that you all go through and try to put some of the better items out here, but that doesn't mean you're tossing everything
No.
else. Tell us a little bit about what you do with some of the other material that you say, based on our size and based on our kind of guidelines, this isn't going to work in our store. But what happens to the rest of the stuff?
Okay. Go ahead.
Well, with Share Haiti, I guess the situation in Haiti has deteriorated right now, so we're having some problems getting some items over to Haiti delivered. But clothing that might not quite meet the standards for this shop, we have
T-shirts with
yeah.
advertising.
Yeah.
Advertising.
Yeah, well, we have bins that we put those in and we ship them to Haiti.
Okay.
So for the underprivileged there, and then clothing that doesn't even meet the Haiti criteria,
Right.
we will bundle. Well, we'll take it to North Newton where they bale it.
Right.
And
They bale it and send it overseas.
and send it
Okay.
overseas and recycle it that way. And then, of course, glassware. We recycle a lot of. Gosh, we help the homeless
Right.
with
with
winter
other clothing, especially with winter clothing.
Winter
we
coats,
have connections to the homeless communities here in Hutch and
Yeah.
in Wichita, and so we
And-
send coats and shoes and socks and
suitcases and
suitcases,
backpacks
right,
and
things like that.
So those go directly to groups that are working
Yes.
directly with homeless
Yes.
populations.
Sometimes it's
Usually.
individuals
Yeah.
working
Okay.
directly
Yeah.
with them. And
Yeah.
And
then we
have-
work with a few women's shelters.
Right. And then we have some vases, there are vases that come in, the flower vases and things. We have a shop in Hutchinson that takes some of some of those and recycles and uses
Yeah.
the vases
Okay.
that we have
Yeah.
come in. That's pretty much the way.
Okay.
Yeah, we
way it
try to
goes.
recycle everything that we possibly
We
can.
have books that we'll take down to the
Yeah.
Union Mission in
Yes.
Wichita.
Okay.
Yes.
So nothing really goes to waste, does it?
Well, there's always something that does.
Yeah.
But we
we
recycle
sure try.
everything we can.
Yeah, we try to recycle as much
We
as
try to
possible.
recycle everything we can.
Because we take seriously the fact that people are giving of themselves to us,
Right.
And
And we
it's a
wanna honor that
responsibility, and we want to honor that.
Absolutely.
And so you're always working for a way to use as
Yes.
much of that as
Right.
possible, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's very good. So when customers come in, I'd like to get a little bit of a sense of when people come in. You've got volunteers. It sounds like the sort of place where no one has a bad day, no one's grumpy at work or that sort of thing.
We try not to.
We
be.
try not to be.
But do you have people come in, and I'm thinking about the shopper experience. Do people come in looking for something specific, or are they browsing and just happen upon something?
Both. We have
Both of those?
Yeah.
Both.
And sometimes we'll get phone calls, and people will say, look out for if you get the XYZ, call me. And we try to make a note and try to do that also.
And
We
then
also
let
have a
people know.
Facebook page.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so,
Yeah.
and so Michelle, who's another one of our managers, we have two managers, Irma and Michelle. And Michelle will go around and take pictures, and we also have a volunteer that goes around and takes pictures. They take pictures, and it goes up on our Facebook page. And so every day,
Yeah.
there's something new
Okay.
that shows up on the Facebook
Yes.
page. And we'll get calls from people, I want that, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, be here at 9:00.
Yeah, come.
So, yeah, but, it makes it a lot of fun.
Well, and there were a couple other things you told me about redecorating. This store you said changes quite often,
Yes.
right? Talk to me about that a little bit.
We tried to move things around, and not only just the items on the shelving, but the display tables, the display shelves, the display furniture. We try to move that around weekly if we don't quite get it done weekly, every other week for sure, so that there's a new look always. When people come in, they'll hopefully see something that maybe they didn't notice before.
Yeah, because you've moved and changed things around.
We're moving them around. Yeah.
It's the same theory that the grocery store uses when they move things around,
Probably,
right?
yes.
Because I was looking for something the other night in the grocery store that used to be on one end, and they moved it to the other end, and so in between I had to do a lot of hunting.
A lot of hunting.
Yeah.
That's right. And it's surprising how people come in and find something, and they're so excited about it. They've been looking for this for a long time, and all of a sudden they're so excited about it, or this just fits exactly in what I do in my house, and this will be perfect. And we have volunteers that come in that love to decorate, and so for them, taking one total display completely apart and moving it 10 or 12 feet the other way and totally redoing it is fun for them. And I'm just real thankful for this.
Well, and that's one thing I noticed, particularly in the kind of home decor area.
Yeah.
It's kind of reminds me of the old department store displays, right?
Yes.
Where you're putting things together that belong together.
Yeah.
And somebody you can see has put a lot of care into that and a lot of thought into making that look nice.
Yeah.
And now it looks like you're starting to set the fall themes up. I noticed around the store.
Wait till Christmas. Oh my God.
Oh, Christmas is amazing around here. It's really fun. Like we'll set a table up, for a dinner party and use some china or some dishes that somebody might not think to ever use in a situation like that they would look good sitting in that table service. But then when they see them, they're like, wow, that's pretty cool. That's not bad. I hadn't thought about that, but that would work.
Yeah.
And so we sell a lot of stuff just because of the way we display.
Because it helps if people see it and
They can visualize it.
Yeah, you can see that, and it's what it would look like in that situation.
Right. Yeah. It makes it a lot of fun.
It does.
It does.
Well, there's another thing that we talked about initially when I got here about the smell. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. Sure.
It's really big in our minds.
It is a big deal. I mean,
It's
it's
a big
something
deal.
that we watch all the time.
Yeah.
We want our merchandise to be nice
Yes.
and to be pleasant.
Yes.
We want our store to be pleasant to be in.
Yeah.
And it's just something we watch very carefully.
Yes.
And we have one of our managers is so good about doing laundry,
Yes.
which, I'm thankful for her too.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because, a lot of the stuff that we get in is, you can tell that it has been laundered and it's really nice. But then there are some things that,
Just need laundry.
they just do. They brought us extra stuff from a garage sale or something, and it'll probably it needs to be run through the machine. Which yes, we will do that then.
Yeah.
So that
And that because if things have been stored for a long time, they kind of just develop that musty smell. And that's what most most of the stores I've been to that are thrift stores have that distinctive,
Absolutely.
and it smells like the back end of a closet sort of.
Absolutely.
I feel, right?
Absolutely.
But that's not that isn't here. And
and we're very careful about we have wax melts going and different things to even enhance
Try to keep
the
things.
olfactory.
But but these guys work great. There's 4 or 5 or 6 people here that is their passion, is that there will not be any excess. And I'm very thankful for them too. They're awesome. It's just
It sounds like you have just like a team of people that all bring a different skill set or a different passion.
They do.
And that it all works, it just all blends together perfectly.
We have people that come in and go through, and I am really thankful for these people. They come in and go through the linens we get. And so we get linens like,
boxes,
we will have boxes
bags,
and boxes and boxes of linens in 1 week. And so our poor linen person comes in once or twice, once a week, and there's 7 huge not little boxes. We're talking big boxes of linens and another stack or two beside that she's going to go through. And, you know, they just go through these and they make sure that they don't have stains, they don't have rips. They, you know, they look them all over. They're, you know,
they don't have an odor.
They don't have an odor. Or they need to be washed, and they go to the, and go through and just sort these things through. And it's amazing. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You know,
To see it
hallelujah.
all come together, right?
It is, and it seems like everyone brings their little. Everybody brings their talent and their interests, and it works together. It's just,
Well, and we've been talking and using the word passion a lot this afternoon, and I think that just is the word in a nutshell. I mean, you have to have a passion for this. If you don't, and you're not willing to go the extra mile and spend extra time, you know, if it needs it, it won't be successful.
Yeah.
I mean, we have some people here that are just stellar. They're very passionate about this, and you can tell.
absolutely,
It shows,
absolutely.
you know.
Well, you can absolutely tell. You can see. I mean, everything's orderly here. Like I'm looking at this spoon and plate display, and it's just, it is so. It looks like the sort of thing that would be in my mom's house.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, somebody cared enough to put all that up there. Just
Yeah.
right. You're right. Yes, they
Yeah,
did.
exactly.
And it's not my cup of tea, but
Yeah.
some people love it.
But isn't that the great
You know?
thing about a
Yeah.
place like this,
It
right?
is.
Like most of the things in here don't have to be my
No,
cup of tea,
that's right.
but there might be one thing that is.
Absolutely.
That's right. Well, and it's really funny because we will get things in our discussions,
Yeah.
you know, and it'll come in. And some things are just so much fun. And,
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll put something else like, this isn't what I would put out. And, you know, somebody else will say, no, let's don't put that out. So, oh no, we'll put that out. And then somebody
Yeah.
comes in and is just in love with whatever we put
Yeah.
out. And it's just, you know, it's everybody's personality is, and you honor everyone's personality, and it's just fun. It's just as
It
fun.
is, and we get
It's
the
fun.
wildest white elephant gifts in here, or possibilities for white elephant gifts.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask about next was
Oh, yeah.
what are some of the most unusual things, or are there things that you've got that you maybe had to do a Google search to figure out
my
what they
goodness.
are?
Okay. Constant, every week. Every week.
White elephant gift, toilet fishing.
Yes, the book.
The book.
A book about toilet fishing.
Fishing.
No,
Really?
it was a game.
No, it was a game
It was a
of
game.
toilet- yeah, it was
a
the
game
toilet fishing.
of
You-
toilet fishing.
Was it a toilet that you
No,
was it
no,
like a
it had-
toilet shaped
it had the-
thing? And
It had
No.
the rod.
No, it had your fishing pole and something you're supposed to. While you're sitting on the toilet, you're supposed to be able to catch all these things. I mean,
Yeah, it was.
okay, yeah, that's a little different.
That's odd.
That's a little odd.
Great white elephant gift. Yeah.
And we were just talking about, we just got in, a few weeks ago, we got in a model train set. And the gentleman that had the model train set had probably been collecting the model trains from like the 50s through the 70s or something like that. And just boxes and boxes of it. And it's been fun to go through that. And the people, you know, when we advertise that on our Facebook page or something, it's been fun to have people come through and go through and the excitement they have when I haven't, you know, I've been looking for this for years and I haven't found it, and it's just fun.
that's fascinating because you never know
is.
what you're going to get, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
No, it's all random.
Yeah.
And you, on the other side of that, you never know who's going to want that.
Yeah.
You might look at it and say,
Yeah.
"This is a bizarre thing," and somebody else says, "I've been scouring the internet for this and haven't been able to find
Yeah.
it."
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And sometimes there's occasions where we set something up on the counter because we don't know what it is. We'll set it there and maybe one of our customers can come in and say, oh, that's what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hallelujah. You know.
So the whole thing, I mean, it's just that's another opportunity to learn, right? About
Oh, yeah.
what's out there in the world, what people,
Absolutely.
you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know until today that there was a toilet fishing game.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I didn't either.
I learned that just today.
Yeah, that's probably one of the strangest.
That is probably one of the strangest things we've gotten in.
Yeah.
But we get in unusual
We do.
things. Yeah.
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 And just nice, you know, like you were saying earlier, you know, we've gotten, you know, some 14 karat gold jewelry in that, you know, you just kind of think, really, this is amazing
Yeah. Yeah.
that people are
Yeah.
so generous.
Right. Right.
It's yeah.
But you think that part of that is because people that do donate to you understand and appreciate the mission that you have here?
Absolutely. We've had people that have come in and talked about we've got that written on our board behind us. You saw that behind the cash register, where this is what we give away and these are the people that we give it to, et cetera. And we've had people come in and say, and ask us about that, and ask us about these organizations, and we kind of tell them a little bit about it and how we work. And it's like, I'm bringing all my stuff to you. Yeah. In fact, we've got people that are like west of Great Bend or in the southern part of the state, and they will drive,
Oh, yeah.
it'll be 50 to 100 miles away.
Yeah.
And it's
all
like,
over.
we want our stuff to come here. And it's like, we appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's like, it just, adds variety again
Yeah, absolutely.
to what we have here. And it makes it more fun for us. But it's very encouraging when people come in and understand what we're about, how we do this and what we're about.
And appreciate it.
And appreciate that and then say, we really want that.
Well, and I think it's as I listen to you talk about it, one thing I noticed that it's so it is so so impactful in the county and in the community, and you've given me a few examples too of helping families directly with gas money if they have to travel to doctor's appointments and things like that. I think that's powerful as well, right? Being able to say that the donations that you give here, the money that's being raised here is largely staying in this community or at least in the area, right?
Yeah. There was 1 month this year. I think it seems like March or April. There was 1 month where we got to give away over $8,000.
Yeah.
I was so excited. I was just like, I had to go home and tell my husband, we gave away over $8,000 this month. But it was just so fun, to be able to be a part of that and just be able to bless people in that way.
Oh, yeah.
It was just so fun. It was awesome.
Oh, I can't imagine that there's many tasks that are more rewarding than being able to sit down and calculate how much money you get to put into the community and get to help people with.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
It's so awesome.
It is fun.
Well, and just being a part, we're coming into the holiday season slowly, but we were talking earlier too about Christmas, and we will shut down for a day to decorate. And this place just turns into a winter wonderland. I mean, just the amount of Christmas trees. And when we start dragging those totes down from the loft attic.
From the loft attic,
Oh, man.
Last year, I think we had 60 totes
Of
full of Christmas.
Christmas decorations?
Yes.
This year, we have more.
Yeah, we have more. And I think our manager at that point didn't think it would all sell in the Christmas season.
Well,
and
she was new
it was
here.
Done.
And she kept saying, what are we going to do with all this Christmas? It will sell. What are we going to do with it? No, and she was just blown away. I think the first day we were open, it was just amazing. I think it's a Friday and Saturday. We do it on the first week in November. This year it'll be the 4th and 5th.
Yes.
But on the Friday, I think they sold $1,400 worth, and the Saturday they sold $1,700 worth. And like I said, at an average price of $1.46 or $1. I figure out what our average is every month, and that's a lot of stuff.
And that's a lot of people coming through and buying a lot of stuff,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
It is.
It's really a lot of fun.
It's great. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really a lot of fun.
Well, tell me a couple more things. How do people? You have a Facebook page. How do people find out about you if they're from out of the area or they haven't heard of this before and maybe this is their first exposure to this? They can find you on Facebook under the Yoder Thrift Shop. Okay.
I believe there's also a Twitter account.
I
don't do Twitter, but I hear there's a Twitter account.
Yes, I don't do Twitter either. So
Your lives are probably better for it.
Yes, I hope so.
There's younger people that put that on Twitter.
Yeah.
And
So true.
But it's other than that, it's word of mouth.
It's word of mouth. Yeah.
It's totally that or word of mouth. We haven't done.
No,
I don't know if we've done any advertising.
I don't think we.
Maybe one. I think one time we put an ad in the paper, in one of whatever we could find as local papers to say thank you for supporting us for the first year.
Yes.
And I think other than that, I don't think we've done anything other than that. So it's pretty much that.
No. Yeah.
And then I was going to ask you a little bit about just the Yoder community in general. For those of us in Reno County, we're pretty familiar with it, but there may be people listening who are not from Reno County and maybe haven't been down this way. But tell me a little bit, or tell listeners about the Yoder community and what else they might be able to find and see and experience here.
Okay. Do you want?
Oh, go.
Okay.
Jump in.
The Yoder community was started. It's a lot of Amish around the community,
Yes.
but there are also other Mennonites and various other denominations, or just none. It's become a combination of people. I think we're a helping and welcoming community. I think we try hard to support one another, and probably less competitive than the other communities I'm familiar with. Yeah, I think it's been around for, I don't know, since the late 1800s, 1880s, something like that.
Yeah, probably around the same time. Probably one of the earlier
Yeah.
little towns or cities formed
Yeah.
in Reno
Yeah.
County.
And then there are a lot of I was amazed because, like I said, what did I say, 72 people. There's 3 streets in town,
Yeah.
That's it. And I was amazed when we were doing a retirement party for the guy that owned the hardware across the street. And so I went around and I was trying to find all the Yoder businesses, and there were like 36. It's like, how can there be 36 businesses in Yoder? But there are a lot of just people that own their own businesses. Most entrepreneurial people. Yeah,
absolutely.
And so outside of Yoder, like about a mile away, we've got a dairy where they make their own cheese. It's awesome.
Yep.
We have what else is around? Goodness, we have a
Yoder
fabric shop.
meats.
You have Yoder
Yeah,
Meats.
of
And there's
course.
another
Yes.
grocery store down the street here, right?
There's a grocery store
The
down
discount
here.
grocers is they are very popular in this area.
Yeah, and they call themselves the discount grocery because they do some discount, but they have bulk things too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're
absolutely.
very Then we have a Grayson Garment down that's kind of actually a boutique
Okay.
that's down here in the little mall.
Clothing and other
clothing
things.
and she does very well.
Yes. The hardware store, obviously.
The hardware store
of
obviously
course.
is so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where else can you go and buy an oil lamp and a
Cast iron skillet.
and a cast iron skillet? And
It's like the true general store, right? Like with
absolutely
just
is.
about everything
It is.
there.
It
It
is.
is. And I can walk in and say, I need
Yeah.
5 3-inch screws and washers, and I can buy 5 3-inch screws and washers.
You don't have to buy a pack of 20.
I don't have to.
Yeah.
No. It's So it's a lot of it's just very interesting. Yeah.
Well, very good. Well, thank you for taking time to sit down with me today and take me through the store and kind of share your story with everyone. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what you do for Christmas. I'll
please
definitely
come
come. I definitely will come back.
You back here.
Well, you won't have to drag me. After what you
Please
told me,
come.
I definitely will come
so
back
much
completely
fun.
voluntarily.
Yay.
It's so fun. It is so fun.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming and caring, and we sure do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It was fun to show you around.
Spread
Thank
the
you
word.
so much. Yeah,
Yes.
like I said, we appreciate it, and we love what we do. It's just exciting to be able to
It
do this.
is.
So it's fun. It's fun.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for the good work you're doing and for
Yeah.
having such caring hearts.
Thanks, Jason. We
it's so fun.
appreciate you.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks.
you. I'd like to thank a few of the people who've helped make that podcast in Hutch possible. My son Mitchell Probst wrote and recorded the music for the show. Jenny Brigette put together some great graphics and promotional art. And Chris Acker helps overcome my mistakes to produce a great sounding product every episode. That podcast in Hutch is made possible through a collaboration between the Hutchison Arts and Culture Collective and Salt City Sound. They're working to bring resources and infrastructure to support art, music, and storytelling in our community. If you have an idea for your own podcast, reach out to them at podcasts@saltcitysound.net. If you enjoy that podcast in Hutch, be sure to subscribe and share it with all your friends. You can also help support this production by subscribing to thatguyinhutch.substack.com or by emailing me at thatguyinhutch@gmail.com to learn about sponsorship opportunities. Thanks for listening, and I hope you'll join us again next week.
A Salt City Sound production.